days around.
Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today we will be giving our 5 takeaways from Tottenham's embarrassing defeat at the hands of Sheffield United in the FA Cup round of 16, as a goal from Iliman Ndiaye in the 79th minute sealed the deal at Bramall Lane for the Blades and sent them into a quarter-final clash against Blackburn Rovers at home, while a mediocre Spurs lost one of their biggest chances this season to win a coveted piece of silverware for the first time in nearly 12 years. Before we get started with the takeaways, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Tottenham content. Comment down below what your biggest lesson learned from yesterday's game was. And without further ado, let's start with the first takeaway.
The first takeaway is that it's been the same old Spurs players that's been making mistakes for us, and for the past 5 seasons or so, it's been a backline in the FA Cup. In the game that we got eliminated from the FA Cup in, it's been a backline of including 2 of Dyer, Davies, and Sanchez. It's at least 2 of them. This season, it was all 3 of them. But in the past seasons, even with Poch, we've been eliminated from the FA Cup with those 3 defenders.
It's really been the whole case of Tottenham not getting rid of the deadwood. It was a story that progressed a lot through the 2010s. That whole decade, we were notoriously known for not selling enough of our players and keeping them way past their expiration date. The biggest example, in my opinion, was Toby Alderweireld. I think we should have sold him half a window earlier, but we eventually saw the effects of his age come up. That was the biggest effect. Luckily, we sold him.
Also, Hugo Lloris, too.
Hugo Lloris is another one. We didn't get rid of it. We didn't replace him quick enough. But yet again, the 3 mediocre players that continue to fail us: Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, and Davinson Sanchez.
I feel like, especially for this result, most of the blame is fallen on
Sanchez
Dyer and Sanchez.
Yeah.
Davies is kind of excluded
He's
a little
not
bit
blameless.
because he's not normal. He doesn't normally play at left center back. He's been
Yeah.
doing that recently for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Left center back has been his position, but you look how comfortable he looks in a back 4, even left wing back, like he's played recently against West Ham and Chelsea. He looks so comfortable there.
Yeah.
So you kind of exclude him because that's not really his natural position that he knows by heart.
So the one thing with Ben Davies is I kind of like he is able to perform in big matches. We know that. But Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez, they are so ridiculously protected by the way we play that in any event where we play an easy team and try to go forward, Dyer and Sanchez are always a huge liability. And time after time in the FA Cup, in the Carabao Cup, in any small competition where we have a big chance of winning, we field those 2 players thinking it's going to be an easy draw, an easy win. And time and again, Sanchez and Dyer just keep letting us down.
They're the same old players. This next window in the summer, we hopefully will look in.
We have to sell them.
We have to sell them and buy Piero Hincapi, big Ecuadorian player, to put into our squad. Also Ndika, except he's not going to come to Spurs, I don't think.
It doesn't matter. We just need to get Sanchez Dyer out.
Yeah, Sanchez Dyer out, and we're good. We just need to find replacements. Like with Toby Alderweireld, the problem was, even in that season his last season, he was good. He scored a goal.
The problem was that we took Toby out and replaced him with a reserve player in Davinson Sanchez, because with Yen and Toby at our back line, Sanchez was a reserve player, and now we replaced starting elite center back with a reserve player, and he's been starting from that time when we sold Toby Alderweireld to up until the time when we bought Guti Romero, where he was partially able to come in. But then Dyer got his place in the defense, and Dyer was a backup player under Pochettino. He was not a starting player all the time. So we have literally regressed in our defense. Apart from Christian Romero, we have regressed.
Yeah,
And
Christian Romero has been our only improvement on our defense. We took Yen and Toby both out of the squad and never replaced him.
Yeah, we just replaced them with reserves.
Yeah,
that's all we did.
That literally, in conclusion, that's what that is.
Yeah. Our second takeaway is that Richarlison is not good enough right now to replace Harry Kane in any game at striker. Harry Kane carries a lot of quality with him when he comes into the side, and Richarlison, lacking confidence off the back of a big injury at the World Cup, just isn't good enough right now.
Yeah, Richarlison, he's never going to really get a substantial amount of playtime with Harry Kane there unless he's injured.
Yeah.
That's one huge problem, injuries and playtime. He's not getting enough playtime, but he's not going to get it because of Harry Kane.
Yeah.
So
he needs to take his chances, and he didn't take this one very well because he was subbed off in the 65th minute. He had 3 shots, one of which should have been on target. It was inside the box, and the other one nearly went out for a throw-in. So it was a pretty embarrassing performance at striker for a guy who had the World Cup at its knees. Basically, while he was playing for Brazil, he looked like one of the best strikers in the world, but it's not clicking for Spurs right now. And Harry Kane, we're going to run him through the dirt, but he really is going to be our starting striker week in, week out. He is not going to get any rest right now because it's almost impossible for us to drop him. Let's move on to our third takeaway.
our third takeaway is that Danjuma needs his chance to play. I don't know why Cellini and Conte did not start him against Sheffield United, and they started Lucas Moura over Danjuma. Yes, Lucas Moura did not have the worst performance in his life, but Danjuma scoring off the bench against Preston and having some great sub impacts. We know how alert he is. We know how energetic he is. He wants to get things done.
We brought Danjuma on in the 82nd minute, and he was our best attacker. Like, he was our most... he was the only attacker that looked like he wanted to do something. Lucas Moura, just about leveled with him. But if Danjuma started, I really think that result would have been different. Because Son's clearly not clicking right now. Richarlison is way off his pace. And Lucas Moura has not played a full 90 minutes in, a year and a half. So, I don't really know what we expected from that front line. Because there's no one to link them up. If Kulusevski started,
Son
Danjuma
can't
or
click
Kane.
without Kane or Kulusevski. Maybe
Right now
he can't. He could click without them a while ago, but he could click with Danjuma. He did that against Preston. Clicked without Kane and Kulusevski. Kulusevski.
No, Kulusevski was there. He clicked with Kulusevski.
Yeah.
But he
clicked without Kane.
Without Kane, with Richarlison and Lucas Moura, Son is effective. Each forward there is playing by themselves. There's no cohesion between the front three, and that's the big problem, is that there's no connection, which means every player's on his own. Richarlison, we know, if he's by himself, he's going to try and do something crazy, but with his confidence, it's not going to work. Lucas Moura likes to run into opposition. Son, not at the top of his game right now, so that's not going to work. You need someone who's going to link, and someone who other players trust, like Kane, like Kulusevski, like Danjuma. And it still doesn't make sense why Danjuma didn't start.
Yeah.
Moving to our fourth takeaway. This season really is a top 4 or bust season. We have to get that top 4 spot in the league. We've lost our chance in the Carabao Cup. We lost our chance in the FA Cup, which was really the biggest chance ever because Man City and Man United were the only teams left, good teams left in the...
I mean, they probably are, other than Arsenal, the
FA
top
Cup.
2. They're both in the top 3 best teams in England right now.
But still, that would have given us an opportunity to get to the semis.
Who are the other ones left? Blackburn Rovers?
Blackburn Rovers
Burnley?
was one of them. Burnley was one of them. Fulham was one of them. Brighton and Hove Albion and Grimsby Town were the other teams left in the quarterfinals of this year's FA Cup. Biggest chance for us to win a trophy. We went ahead and bottled it. So at this point, with Champions League looking very unlikely, we have to get that top 4 and secure another year of top-flight European football.
You know, Conte staying in this summer could not happen, you know?
There's a big chance that it won't happen because of his personal trauma that's happened this year. The fact that he's lost 2 of his closest friends and he's had this big surgery operation and he's not really close to his family because his family's in Italy. He's over here in England. So it doesn't really... The way Conte's personal life is going, I wouldn't be surprised if he just terminates his contract halfway through the summer because I just don't think it's clicking. I don't think he's doing well as a person right now. He probably just needs to go home and get a reset, so I won't be surprised if Conte...
I would love to see Poch back in. The last time I actually got a smile Not.
No, that's a lie.
But like
we were smiling when we got to the Carabao Cup final. Under Jose.
yeah. Jose, the last time Spurs actually
we were smiling last season.
If you cut Poch in the hand, if he gets a paper cut, he will literally bleed Spurs. He is that man. It brings so much joy to the club, and that's the last time we were actually clicking. And under Poch, when we consistently scored goals, our attack was never shut down. Our defense was all right.
The only time I'd ever disagree with you is when we put the end of last season, when we went on that 12-game unbeaten streak, and our only loss really was a 1-0 loss to Brighton at home. We were firing on all cylinders. We beat Newcastle 5-1. We beat Aston Villa 4-0. Leicester 3-1. Drew with Liverpool 1-1. We beat Arsenal 3-0, and we eventually secured European football. I think that is the last time that we were really an unbeatable team.
Yeah.
Ever since then, we've looked very fragile. Let's move on to our fifth takeaway now.
Our fifth takeaway is that it's a huge missed chance to win the FA Cup and to actually get silverware in our trophy cabinet.
Yeah. 2008 was the last time that Tottenham saw a new addition to the trophy cabinet. That 2008 League Cup, all the way back when Tim Sherwood was still manager, I believe. Or Juan de Villas, I forget who it was. Juan de Ramos, I think it was. Not Tim Sherwood, Juan de Ramos. It's been since then, we've had about 12 different managers, and yet we still haven't won a trophy, and this was our big chance. And we went ahead and Spurs-ed it. We bottled it, and
we've been bottling them ever since. Carabao Cup. Well, we'll start with the Champions League. That one.
2019, missed that big opportunity.
I mean, Liverpool just really outclassed us that game, too.
Yeah. That was a bit of a fluke run.
It could have... Lucas Moore should have started at striker ahead of Kane. Because Kane hadn't played a full 90 minutes in 6 months before that.
And then we went to the Carabao Cup final under Jose, but Jose got sacked.
Which was the worst decision I've ever seen in my entire life. Jose could have won us the cup. He said from that day that he has won half of the Carabao Cup, half of that trophy, which he's so right about that.
Yeah. But we've missed a big opportunity to get some silverware here. We missed a big opportunity to take our trips to Wembley because chances are if we had won against Sheffield United, we would have drawn Blackburn Rovers at home if we were exactly in their place. And at home, I think if we beat Sheffield United, we could have beat Blackburn Rovers. And anyone who's in the semifinals plays at Wembley. And we would have played one of City or Burnley, one of United or Fulham, or one of Brighton or Grimsby. There were a lot of likable opposition there. And, of course, we had to go and completely miss our chance. The player selection, I think, was wrong on a lot of levels.
Guti should have started.
Guti should have started ahead of Sanchez. Danjuma ahead of Lucas. Dare I say, Ben Davies at left wing back instead of Perisic?
Yeah.
Because, he's just not bringing that quality anymore. There were a lot of changes. I mean, to an extent, maybe even Kane over Richarlison. Although, hindsight, you want to say Kane over Richarlison. But at the time, it was Richarlison needs a chance. Kane is tired. He's just played 3 games with a fever. He needs a rest. Of course, Richarlison was going to start that one. The biggest fraudulent ones here are Romero not starting, Lucas not starting, and really...
You mean Danjuma not starting?
Danjuma not starting, and Perisic taking that spot at left wing back, because that would have changed the game for us.
Yeah,
100%.
Benjamin Davies at left wing back. My guy. He's so good. He's so consistent there. West Ham and Chelsea. Those are the 2 games he started at left wing back. Won both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Both clean sheets. 2-0 wins.
Yeah.
That's a perfect record.
So we've missed out on a big opportunity here in the FA Cup to get a trophy. And now I guess we really go back to the same story of just trying to get a good position in the league. And then the story restarts next season. And we go through the cycle again. We'll lose to Grimsby Town next season. And then Port Vale. And then Exeter City. And then Dagenham and Redbridge a couple seasons later somehow. It's all going to happen. We all know it. Unless some big changes are made at Tottenham in terms of the hierarchy, in terms of management, in terms of the way the club is operated, we're not going to see a change. But that's it for our 5 takeaways for Sheffield United's win over Tottenham. If you enjoyed, make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit the like button if you want to see more Tottenham content, and until next time.
Come on, you Spurs!